Hey, to whoever sees this, hello, my name is Alex Funk. I'm 20 years old, and right now I'm actually sitting in my own house. And so I wanted to make this video mostly out of appreciation for Jennie and what she was able to help me do and kind of to get me to this point. And so I want to start at the beginning. Like I said, I'm 20. I grew up in Pierce, Minnesota. It's a small town, central Minnesota, very blue collar community. And so it's a lot of like farming. And my dad's an electrician. My uncle's a plumber. My other uncle's construction worker. Like it's all of that and then some. And so I knew from a young age that's not necessarily the path that I wanted to go down. And I didn't know anyone who was wealthy, and I didn't know anyone who had real estate and things like that to my knowledge. But I knew that there was something like this out there for me, and I didn't know what it was, but it was what I wanted to find. And so when I was 17, I found Rich Dad Poor Dad. And from that point on, I knew that for me, my path to financial freedom was going to be real estate. And so I started looking into it a little bit, but didn't know where to look. Lucky for me, I was introduced to Bigger Pockets podcast when I was 19 and stumbled upon a house hacking episode with Craig Kierlop. And from November of 2019, when I first learned about house hacking, until about September of this year, 2020, I spent hours and hours. This year on Spotify, I had 18,000 minutes of podcast listening. And like it was that kind of effort that I put in to try to learn about real estate, how to buy a house, how to house hack, all these different things. And if you don't know, house hacking is when you live in the property, rent out the other rooms, and those rents cover the mortgage and you're living and all of that. So I knew that it was the route I wanted to take, and I had invested all this time trying to learn it, book after book, podcast after podcast, audiobook after audiobook. And like I said, I put hours into learning this thing. Well, what I didn't do to that point was buy a house. I never got to the point of actually pulling the trigger. And I think that's the trap that a lot of people fall into. And I say this very modestly because I probably would have fallen into that trap if it weren't for Jennie. But I think a lot of people fall into that trap of like accumulate information, accumulate knowledge, but you never take that step, and you never actually pull the trigger. And like I said, if it weren't for Jennie, who knows how long I would have been in that same loop. But how Jennie has done this for me, and or how Jennie has helped me do this, because it was a lot of effort on my end as well. But Jennie was introduced to our coaching community in October of 2020. And in October of 2020, I was accepted on this house. And it's no coincidence. I was accepted on a property the same month I met Jennie. And the reason that I can confidently say that Jennie was a big reason why I finally made it happen was because, let me put it this way, Jennie is in our coaching community and she does hour-long calls every week. I go to those hour-long calls and I sit there and listen, and I know I've already learned everything she's talking about. But I learned it through hours and hours and months of research and asking questions. What Jennie is literally serving this stuff up on a silver platter. And I just hope everyone on the calls realizes what they're getting from Jennie, because I had to scratch and claw my way to try to find this stuff out. And she's right there giving it to everybody. So that's the first thing, is like, instead of trying to do it on your own, reach out someone who's done it. Jennie is so experienced. She's done this so many times. She knows what she's doing. And that was a really big thing for me, was realizing like, okay, I have a resource now. And so I set up a one-on-one call with her. And I said, look, here's my situation. I want to make it happen. I've been doing this for way too long. I want to find a house. And the thing for me was, I didn't know how to like judge the market or judge which properties were worth it or those kind of things, because books don't tell you that. Books don't know each city or each state situation as far as judging the market and those kind of things. And so what Jennie was able to do in our 1 hour call was, we just scrolled around St. Paul, and I had an MLS coming from my realtor. Jennie took that and then some. She even added 5 or 6 properties that she said were perfect for me to look at. It actually kind of blew my mind how simple and how quickly she found properties that would work. And I went and toured the properties the next week. And this house I'm sitting in was one that Jennie found me. It wasn't even on my MLS. And so I thought that was really cool. I went through, I think, 20 houses with my realtor, and this was the one. And Jennie found it for me. The other thing that was the pivotal point was when we evaluated houses together. But the other thing is that Jennie has just been a resource for me. Like I said, books and everything like that. Yeah. But to be able to literally reach out and have Jennie one text away or one email away or one call away has been huge for me with throughout the process of closing until now. I'll just give one quick example. I had a guy who wanted to Airbnb out my house. So he was going to rent it all and use it as an Airbnb. And I said, Jennie, like, what do you think? Like, I'd never learned about that in a book before, and Jennie basically gave me a script of questions to ask and how to judge if this guy was a good fit. And because of Jennie's little script, I found out this guy was not qualified to do what he said he was going to do. And she really helped me dodge a bullet there. In another situation, I had a lady who, to me, I'm 20. I've never been a landlord before. And so she checked all the boxes, in my opinion. We got to the point with the background check and everything looked great about this lady, except her credit history looked a little funky. And so I texted Jennie. I'm like, could you check out her credit report? And Jennie looked at it and she's like, yeah, you do not want that as a renter from you or whatever. And so that was huge. She also not just told me, oh, you don't want that person. She explained why. So next time I'm a little more educated. And so just having that resource, one person away, has been huge for me. And I cannot understate, how much Jennie has done for me and how much I appreciate just having a resource like that, one call away and one text away. She has no idea, how much I appreciate that. So, that's about it. My story, how I ended up in this house and how Jennie's helped me do it. I have one tenant right now. He's amazing. He has a 787 credit score. And then I have two other people to rent out the last 2 rooms. That all I need is their background check. Everything seems good, but we'll see how it goes. I can be a little more picky just because I know what I'm looking for. And just if you want the numbers and the logistics and everything about the house, bought it for $232,000. I put 5% down. And so it was $11,000 investment on my part. The monthly payment with the mortgage and the insurance and the PMI and the interest is $1,400 every single month. Well, the 3 other bedrooms in this house I'm renting for $550. So it's $1,650 in rental income, $1,400 in bills to pay. And so I live here for free. And I still technically make $250 a month that I can put towards, upgrading the property and things like that. So, yeah, this is house hacking in its purest form, and I'm really excited about it. And if there's any value you got from this, go. My biggest tip is go do it. My biggest tip is go do it. I'm 20 and I don't have an abundance of wealth to make this happen. Like I said, I put $11,000 down, but what I did have was I educated myself and I asked a lot of questions, and more than anything, I had a mentor and I had a coach who just helped me make it happen. And you can too. So thank you for watching. If you watch all the way to the end, like I said, go get yourself some help and get yourself in a house. So, all right, have a good one. Thank you, everyone.